short video about bird flu, the people of Egypt, and how they interact with their environment. It is about the human-animal interface, or HAI, that allows a deadly virus, H5N1 or bird flu, to survive in what on the surface appears to be a hostile environment. The video provides visual examples of environmental and human risk factors that affect H5N1 viral transmission to humans. According to the World Health Organization, influenza viruses circulating in animals pose a significant threat to human health. From this point forward, H5N1 or bird flu refers to the highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1. Animals have complex relationships that have evolved through time. We have been prey, scavengers, hunters, companions, as well as keepers of domestic animals. In fact, we humans have spent our evolutionary lives closely associated with non-human animals. Not only do we share the natural and built environments with non-human animals, but we can provide food for pesky insect invaders and life cycle hosts for seemingly innumerable pathogens. Global warming, regardless of cause, will undoubtedly change many HAI relationships, including human exposure to new emerging and re-emerging diseases. Furthermore, there's no reason to believe the incessant evolution of viruses and other pathogens will cease to affect human life on the planet. Overcrowded urban centers allow easier transmission of human-to-human pathogens. Fortunately, H5N1 has not evolved to that stage yet. Rapid international travel allows contagions to move from continent to continent in a matter of hours. In other words, those pesky viral bacterial and fungal invaders can be dispersed more rapidly than any time in our evolutionary history, and they will seek new eco-niches in which to survive. Identifying interactions within the human-animal interface is critical to understanding cross-species transmission of infectious diseases, their impacts, and potentially a way to stop their spread. After living in Egypt for part of 2001 and 2002, I came to Egypt in late February 2006 to visit friends and colleagues. That's when I became interested in bird flu. I went back to do research on the topic in 2008 and between revolutions in 2011. The photos here are a composite of all three trips. As it turned out, bird flu and I arrived in Egypt at about the same time. Just days before my arrival, the first cases of H5N1 were identified in flocks of chickens in several areas of Egypt. The government undertook a major slaughtering program designed to mitigate H5N1 infections in commercial, small farmer, and household poultry flocks. Millions of chickens were slaughtered, effectively decimating the commercial poultry industry within weeks after H5N1 was detected. Live bird markets were closed, but the bird slaughter did not stop there. Government officials also sought to find and kill small farmer and household flocks kept by so many Egyptians. In their urgency to eradicate H5N1 from Egypt, government officials even killed pet birds, ducks, pigeons, basically anything they found that had feathers. Egypt is a country where 45 to 50% of the animal protein consumed is poultry. Suddenly, finding fresh poultry became difficult. Restaurants that specialized in chicken were either closed or were empty. It seemed that everywhere you looked, people were afraid of anything chicken, eating or preparing chicken, touching eggs. Some were even afraid to eat bakery products that contained eggs. What I found interesting was that even after the massive slaughter of chickens, eggs were plentiful. For people who could afford them, upscale markets sold government-inspected fresh chicken, and frozen imported chickens were also available. One of my informants reminded me, imported chickens just don't taste like Egyptian chickens. I don't like them. In spite of extensive government efforts to remove chickens, some people managed to keep their poultry. What happened when they came here to kill the chickens? If it had feathers, they killed it. Even parrots and minor birds in Madi. I thought they came here too. I saw a little girl carrying a chicken over on the road. Oh, they came here, but people hid their chickens. When I left Egypt to return to the U.S. 3 weeks after I arrived, there were still no reported cases of H5N1 bird flu in humans, but it seemed certain that bird flu would strike humans soon. The first human H5N1 case was confirmed to the World Health Organization on March 20th. The first victim was a 30-year-old woman from a governorate north of Cairo in the Nile Delta region. I subsequently returned to Egypt to conduct 2 more studies, one in 2008 and one in 2011 between the revolutions. The primary risk factors associated with this disease appear to be either direct or indirect exposure to infected live or dead birds, or association with their infected environments. H5N1 virus can be transmitted through contact with feces, feathers, intestines, and blood of all diseased birds. Typically, rural women and children keep their poultry in yards, cages, on rooftops, or in secured areas around courtyards of their homes, whereas roosters roam the streets with water buffalo, goats, horses, and donkeys. It is apparent that the higher mortality rate among women is affected by increased opportunities for exposure to the virus. This appears to be due to traditional poultry practices, daily activities, child rearing practices, and lack of easy access to sanitation and clean water. It is important for women to have household poultry flocks. In addition to the economic independence the flock provides, it serves as an important source of protein for the family. Having poultry also provides women with elevated social status among their peers and is a source of great pride. Despite well-received community health education efforts, Egyptian women frequently do not perceive the necessity to continue safe handling practices if their birds are healthy. This suggests that they are in the preconception stage of change according to the trans-theoretical model of health behavior. Unfortunately, adults, men and women alike, frequently do not seek or get treatment until it is too late. According to physicians interviewed in Cairo, by the time a patient arrives at the Abbasiyah Chest Hospital, it is often too late. They usually have bilateral pneumonia and cannot survive the disease. The success story in Egypt is that many children are able to survive the virus, more in Egypt than in other countries of the world where the disease exists. This is in part because they are taken to the doctor early and get rapid treatment.